Jim Walsh here for our weekly Chairman's Update. We're starting something new with this weekly update, starting today and going for the next 9 weeks. I am going to focus on the Washington State GOP's platform, 2024 platform, that we recently ratified at our state convention in Spokane. It was a high point of that convention. So each week I'm going to take 2 of the sections of that platform. There are a total of 18. So 2 each week and talk about them in some detail. It'll take 9 weeks, and that should lead us time-wise right up to the edge of the state primary in August. So a good exercise in policy and the foundational values that Washington Republicans believe in. But first, there has been some breaking news this week of great importance. Just in the last 24 hours or so, the story has broken that recently State Attorney General Bob Ferguson, who's running for governor in Washington, got involved in a spat with the state Secretary of State, Steve Hobbs, in which Ferguson demanded, or tried to demand, that Hobbs, the Secretary of State, scramble the list of governor candidates that will appear on the state primary ballot and put Ferguson at the top of that list. This, if true, is illegal. There is a set process in state law for how the Secretary of State orders candidates as they appear on a primary ballot. And if the story is true, then Ferguson's attempt to browbeat the Secretary of State into breaking the law and putting Ferguson's name first for governor would be election interference. Now, this is a breaking story. I'm sure we're going to hear more about it in the coming days, but this is not a good look for Attorney General Bob Ferguson. And this segues nicely into our discussion of the first 2 sections of the WAGOP's 2024 platform. As I mentioned, the platform is made up of 18 sections, each of which deals with one point in public policy or law in some detail. The first section of the 18 on the state party platform is civil and religious liberty, a key issue in government and policy and law, and one that the state attorney general, Mr. Ferguson, has not had a good relationship with in his career. He doesn't think very much of civil and religious liberty, at least not by his actions anyway. What we say, what our beliefs about civil and religious liberty are based really in our federal and state constitutions' key definitions of individual rights and individual liberty. In the U.S. Constitution, of course, the first 4 items in the Bill of Rights, the first 4 rights enumerated, have to do with your personal religious liberty. The First Amendment, of course, gives you that, and I shouldn't say gives you, recognizes that you have that. And the other early parts of the Bill of Rights describe other essential civil and religious liberties, the things that make you you and allow you to be free. In our state's constitution, of course, I mentioned before, some will recognize this, our state's constitution describes absolute freedom of conscience as an essential value. This is in Article 1 of the state constitution. And I always cling to that idea, that one of the key elements of being a free person is having that absolute freedom of conscience that touches on religious freedom, of course, but it's more than that. It has to do with your freedom, the liberty to think thoughts and believe your beliefs regardless of what the government or others say. So Section 1 says that these civil and religious liberties can only be in people, in individuals. They do not convey to the environment or to animals that aren't human or to corporations or organizations or the state government itself. No, civil and religious liberty only applies and is only inherent in human beings. And this is another important distinction when we talk about public policy or law in Olympia or in DC. Some people on the political left try to say that birds and fish have the same rights that humans do. We don't agree with that. Some on the political left say that the environment has rights like people do. We don't agree with that. Only human beings have rights. And we believe that those rights are inherent or God-given. They don't come from government. They come from the fact of being a human. Now, the second section of the 18 sections in our platform talks about limited government, and this is an important one too. We as Republicans and conservatives do believe in good government. We don't want to ruin government. We don't want to get rid of all government. We are not anarchists. We're conservatives. We're common sense conservatives. We want good government. In fact, we even defend good, rational taxes, just not excessive taxes, which is what we have right now in Washington State. We like rational, stable tax bases that generate a reasonable amount of revenue, of money to the government, and a government that does a few good things for the people, the citizens, the residents of the state or the country, and focuses on making people's lives better, not getting deeply involved in people's lives, not telling people how to live. Economists talk about the role of limited government being to provide positive externalities, those common interest things that help everybody. Well-paved roads, well-maintained bridges. In our state, the Constitution recognizes a good K-12 school system as a positive externality. And yes, a clean environment and clean air, you could say those are positive externalities too. So the government needs to focus on the few things that it does well and not get overbroad and overreaching and interfering and trying to manage people's lives. Remember, the government serves the people. People don't serve the government. So we want to see a well-run, well-managed, limited government. And if we return government to its core focuses of those externalities or those common goods, I think we'll see a lot fewer mistakes. The outgoing governor, Mr. Inslee's administration, has been marked by incompetence and error and mistake and, frankly, catastrophe for almost 12 years. It's been terrible. We need to refocus government on the few core activities that it's good at and keep it out of the many things it's not good at. So those are the first two sections of our Washington State GOP platform for 2024. Civil and religious liberty, the first section, and a commitment to limited government, the second section. In the coming weeks, I will talk about more of the sections of our party's platform. We will also post it online. It's already there, but we'll highlight the individual sections as we go forward so you can read them. It's easy. The sections are half a page or so, but they are a good, strong, and clear statement of what it means to be a common sense conservative and a Republican in Washington State in 2024. We think this platform is a great document and will be a welcome to many people who are walking away from political parties and political groups that have become dysfunctional. We're here. We're ready to fix what's broken in Washington. That's it for this week. I'll talk to you soon. Be well and stay strong.